WWE's on fire. And this isn't just in regards to their main roster. NXT is going to have NXT Roadblock coming to us this week. And we talked about championships. How can I not talk about Obafemi? Obafemi, the ruler of NXT, the NXT World Champion, defends the title against TNA's X Division champion, Moose, who actually has a matchup at Sacrifice this upcoming weekend. A ladder match against Jeff Hardy. Should be a good one. But Moose versus Obafemi. A battle of two, hosses, right? Two big boys going at it for one belt. Obafemi versus Moose. It should be a grand affair. And to tell you the truth, I don't even think it main events. And we'll get to that matchup later. But I do think Moose versus Obafemi is going to be a collision. It's going to be a car crash. It's going to be two behemoths battling it out for the NXT title. I don't see how Moose wins this championship. The NXT title is going to stay on NXT. I see Obafemi getting the victory, maybe in some kind of I don't want to say chicanery, but having him lose clean would be an interesting choice here, being that he's one of the biggest stars in TNA, and that he has a ladder match against Jeff Hardy. But I do not see Obafemi taking a loss here. I think he gets the victory, continuing the reign, and then going from there. We talked about Jeff Hardy versus Jeff Hardy versus Moose at Sacrifice. The Hardys defend their TNA Tag Team titles, try saying that 5 times, against Fraxium, Nathan Frazer, and Axiom. In what should be a clash of tag team generations, they talked about who is the best tag team today. We have the best tag team of the modern era, allegedly, versus probably the greatest tag team of all time. This is the matchup I'm looking forward to. Oh, well, maybe second. But again, similar to how I can't see Obafemi losing the NXT title. Can't see the Hardys dropping the TNA tag titles. I think the Hardys go over. I think we're going to get a little bit of a hint of Fraxium breaking up. Maybe it's another instance where the golden ratio is hit on the partner. Axiom hits Frazer or Frazer hits Axiom. But I think they're going to be responsible for their undoing and losing to the Hardys, who have years of tag team chemistry. They're brothers, for crying out loud. And I think their bond is a lot stronger than Fraxium's. Hardys get the victory. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. The street fight should be a good one. Javon Evans, Ethan Page, something that's been building for the last couple of months ever since, Javon Evans had to get his mouth wired because of the beating that Ethan Page delivered. I think it's time we give Javon Evans some love. I think he gets the victory, defeats Ethan Page. Ethan Page will be just fine. I think so. But I'm thinking Javon Evans gets the victory. Jordynne Grace versus Roxanne Perez, and I think what's going to be one of the last matches for Roxanne Perez on NXT now that she's more on the WWE, the main roster, I should say. I'm thinking it's the send-off. Jordynne Grace gets the victory. Roxanne Perez starts to fade away into the main event scene. And speaking of main event, it's got to be the winner-take-all match, right? Stephanie Vaquer versus Giulia, winner takes all. The North American Championship versus the NXT Women's Championship. I think it could main event. The only issue I have is the result. We're implying a unification matchup, not necessarily. I know some people are like, "Wow, we're unifying the titles." It never said unification. It's just winner take all. They could have both championships. We've seen it done before. Becky Lynch held 2 titles. It wasn't a unification matchup. She defended them one in, one off. But I do think we're not going to get a solid winner. I think it's a great opportunity to have Giulia and Stephanie steal the show, have a great matchup, display their talents, as we know that they have. But I think someone interferes. I think someone's going to get involved. For example, Cora Jade, but she has a matchup with Masha at Sacrifice. So maybe not Cora Jade, but I think someone interferes. I think we're going to get some type of interference that prevents it from getting a clean victory. And there's not going to be an individual with 2 titles. That's my prediction. And again, it's not even on a PLE. It's on an episode of NXT, a special episode. So I can't see it happening. I don't see it happening, quite frankly. So I'm going to go Stephanie versus Giulia. Ends in a DQ finish or no contest, something along those lines. I do not see it happening. I don't see it happening.